Is Elon Musk really removing the block feature from X? Let's take a look at a clip.
So now you have blocking feature to be removed from former Twitter platform X, says Musk. Social media company X, formerly known as Twitter, will remove the protective feature that lets users block accounts. Elon Musk has said in another controversial move, the company he bought last year. Now, it's my opinion that this was about not letting people actually block advertisers. Do I actually care if Elon were to hypothetically remove the entire block function? No, I don't. Because let me tell you about this thing called alt accounts or burner accounts. Everyone has them. Large accounts that are constantly causing you strife will just take screenshots of your tweets and you'll still get their huge army of viewers dunking on you, annoying you, and spamming you, things of that nature. Now, there are some people who raise valid points, like Tim Pool talked about, how people are posting this private information in the replies and things of that nature. I 100% empathize with that as someone who has had to deal with multiple swattings over the years, just like him. And but really, removing the block feature doesn't do that. If somebody's posting some information you don't want out there, you block them. They're just going to create another account. You can block that account. They'll create another one and another one and another one. There's nothing to stop that. So I think effectively the block feature doesn't actually do a lot. But it did ruffle a lot of feathers. Mudahar bringing up a very good, valid point, saying, bro, can you block the bots like you said you were going to do? This is after Elon kind of went on this weird kind of, I don't know. It was this weird like doubling down where he said, pretty fun blocking people who complain that blocking is going away. How does that medicine taste?
How does that even?
I mean, I don't
even say that it's medicine because now they're blocked and now I just don't even understand what he's trying to do. The medicine because, oh, well, you don't want anyone blocked, but now I blocked you. Ha, 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 ha. I like Elon for the most part, but some things he does like this, it's just stupid. He's just going out of control, just trolling for what? If people want the block feature, let them have the block feature. Yeah, I don't get it. And he's just blocking people just because they don't want the block feature. He's not blocking them for any legitimate reason in this case.
No. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care or think that blocking is an effective way to get people to leave you alone. You can see that I find it a little bit ironic that many of the people who are all for free speech are mad that we won't be able to block other people from seeing our speech. Shu replies, every day the dumbest people on earth expose themselves for not understanding what free speech is. If I lock the door of my house, that does not intrude on your freedom. You have the freedom to talk. I have the freedom not to listen.
Yeah, what are they talking
And I think, Shu also has a pretty iconic block list. There are a lot of people who are well known for their block lists. Cernovich, Steve Shives, more, all legendary block lists. But, then you have the celebrities. I'm kind of torn because you have the celebrities melting down. You have Dan Slott saying, people are like, why is your Twitter going to be like when you don't have blocks anymore? It won't be anything. I'll close the account. I'm over on Threads, Blue Sky, IG, and Facebook. I've got more than enough social media to deal with it. He's not going anywhere.
Get on there.
He's not going anywhere. Just like that guy who looks like who's got a face that looks like a dropped pie. What's his name? He played Hellboy and literally nothing else I can think of.
I believe he's
quit
talking
Twitter
about
a dozen times.
Rob Perlman.
Tim Pool saying, people have posted my address, photos of my house. I've been swatted 15 times. Blocking them makes many of the trolls stop seeing and being able to interact with my posts. Again, blocking doesn't stop that. I disagree with Tim there.
Well, what Tim was saying, I don't know if Jeremy went and watched his comments on IRL, but Tim made a good point. If someone's swatting you and just obsessed with you and stuff, step one is to try to get them not to see you. Is it 100% effective? Absolutely not even close, but it's step one because it's out of sight, out of mind. They'll move on to someone else that they can't see. That's his point. Do I fully agree with it? I don't know, but that's the point he's making.
Understand 1,000% why Tim feels that way, but blocking doesn't really do anything about that. But then you see here, thank you. If Elon Musk removes the ability to block concerted harassment by trolls or organized political entities, how will X be any different than Jack Dorsey's horrid Twitter? To which Elon replies, then delete your account.
Jeez,
I don't really understand because
his account got hacked. Like, you buy Twitter and all this, there's delete your account. He wants to be this app for everything and all this, and not what he's just going kind of nuts. He said he was going to go all in for free speech, and then now is lawful but awful. That's what his CEO is saying now. Like, oh, we'll remove you if you're awful. And who gets to determine if you're awful? She gets to. Twitter team, Elon Musk. Hey, they don't like our, we're getting rid of the block feature. No, they're awful. Just delete your account. It's like, what are you? It's just not a good way to do business.
This goes against over the weekend, it went against so many things that Elon had said, as was pointed out by Leftism for You.
Doesn't even seem like it's
negative
Elon
feedback received on this platform is great for reducing ego-based errors, which is people are talking about that. Negative feedback is great. Negative feedback is a tool for keeping ego under control. Frankly, I love negative feedback. I think, again, also what happened to this going forward, there'll be a vote on any major policy changes. My apologies, won't happen again, but it has.
It's happened over and over again.
Let stalkers, trolls, spam.
That quote he just gave from Elon was from December, and now he got the CEO and everything that no one likes, and now he's doing this. He's doing a bunch of stuff that people don't like. There's no vote. Which, I mean, he owns the company, to be fair, but I'm just saying, like, why does he say this stuff and then just he goes back on it less than a year later?
And spicy prawn bots flood your mentions or leave. Is the new CEO coming up with this stupid stuff, or are you?
That's a good question.
Is it about more eyes on ads, which is what I believe it is? Don't get overconfident you're going to get MySpace. Yep. I think that, for me...
I don't think he's going to get MySpace for something like this. And most people that use X aren't even probably seeing that he's removing the block feature and stuff. It's just crazy that you would do. It's like he doesn't do this with his other companies, just Twitter. I just think it's so weird. He's not like, oh, you don't like that our quality control is not great at Tesla, then don't buy a Tesla. Does he say stuff like that? Right? It's just like, that's so interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. And the other, in Tesla and Boring and SpaceX and everything, he seems like he's really nice to people and his customers and wants to work with people. But Twitter, it's like the complete opposite. It's like the troll ground. So he's like, hey, I'm just going to troll like crazy on here because it's the troll ground. But didn't he want to buy that maybe to get rid of that? Maybe not. I don't know. Interesting.
It was about getting more eyes on ads. The only thing I really block, other than people who are bad faith actors in my replies, are ads. So I think very strong, and I think a lot of people are the same way. They block ads.
I don't even pay
so
attention
he wants to do that, but then you see he blocked Cat Turd, and then he was still dunking on him in the replies after blocking him. It's very weird behavior, in my opinion. But of course, everyone having a meltdown, and it was all for naught, as expected. This via X Daily. Elon has given more details about removing the block feature. He's proposing a stronger mute, which would consistently hide all posts. He does not appear to be endorsing the idea that this strong mute would prevent interacting, replies quotes aside from DMs. I've had several weirdos who have been blocked on my Twitter for 10 years, it feels like, and they still reply to my every thread. It's like, think about what they have to do. They have to find someone that replied to me, then reply to them. That's their whole life. I can't imagine a more pathetic existence. But Elon writes, yes, the obvious move is to strengthen the mute function. This is today. By making anything posted by the muted accounts invisible to you. Right now, both mute and block are partially broken. It should also be made easy to continue to follow an account while blocking their ability to DM you. Mute needs to mute properly, including all mentions. Block will only apply to DMs. Jack gets it. Surprisingly, few others do. I think the idea is that, if you want to be able to follow an account, that's fine. But it's interesting. Part of the reason, really the only reason that I ever really care about blocking people is if they're always annoying my viewers. And I have to see their stupid, endless arguments going on forever and ever and ever and ever in my mentions. This, I'm not sure.
Gets you some engagement, though.
This would not protect my viewers from bots and spammers and people posting their OF stuff and all that kind of stuff. It will still appear in my replies, which I don't like.
Yeah, it's weird.
If somebody's constantly shilling their product or something like that in my
It's funny Elon said that mute and block are both partially broken, so I'm going to tweak mute a little bit and just get rid of all of the functions of block except for DMs. Very interesting. Maybe he wants to do something else eventually. I don't know. It's so weird.
replies, I don't care for that. You see, personally, I have 5,000 accounts blocked, mostly from over 5 years ago. I wish I could unblock them all with one click. With that said, there are a few accounts which I do want to prohibit replying to my posts. These are people who post photos of my home, address, kids' names, etc.
Yeah, but now
if you just mute them,
that's weird.
That doesn't necessarily
They can still respond to you, right?
keep them from posting your private information.
Yeah.
He's also made a series, of course, here's Reaper saying he's made a series of in poor taste this morning and mock and criticize who wish those to keep the feature in an attempt to humiliate and dismiss valid concerns. It's deplorable behavior for him. Past bot defenses are failing. Only subscription works at scale. So essentially he's saying, unless you pay Twitter $8 a month, then you can't, you're not going to be able to protect your account from getting spammed into oblivion. I 100% disagree with that. I don't have this problem in a lot of other format or platforms. I think now they're talking about pushing ID verification, which I 100% don't agree with. We're talking about, ID, so I have to have an ID to use social media, and then it creates this crazy security issue where Twitter has to, has my driver's license and stuff.
Elon's went completely back on the whole free speech thing. Now he wants the ID to even use the platform. Sounds really strange. And I mean, I said it earlier, I don't know if they'd get MySpace, but I mean, you gotta, maybe, you start going and pushing way too hard, it's just gonna happen, right? Most likely. I mean, Twitter's not even that innovative. I mean, it's been the same since 2008. They're starting to add video and more interesting stuff, but you probably just get that anywhere else. It's kind of disappointing because I thought when Elon bought Twitter, it's just I was always hoping in the last few years for a really good alternative to pop up. And then Elon bought Twitter, and I was like, okay, there doesn't even need to be one. One of the mainstream people are doing it. But now he's just going more ham than Facebook or Instagram. I know they're both owned by Meta, but you don't need ID verification and stuff for those. Maybe if you want to get monetized, but yeah, that's it. And I don't even think you need an ID for that. I think you just have to connect a Stripe account or whatever.
I'm not going to give Twitter my driver's license. That's insanity. So I don't know. He appears to be backing off of his original decision, but I'm not sure I love this solution that he's offering now either.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what his thought was, why he went in on people wanting to get removed or that are mad that he's removing the block feature. Elon, in this situation, it seems like a douche. It's okay. You don't think people need it. You don't get it. You don't have to mock and belittle them. Who cares? I think the block feature is good. If I started my own social media last year, it didn't really take off or anything. So I was paying hundreds of dollars a month for it. So I still have the domain votefeed.com, but the site's not open anymore. And then the platform I was using just got so bogged down and slow as more content got on it. So I decided just to close it down for now until I could, get on a better platform. But I always thought that was that's how you can have free speech, right? Is because as most as you can without treading in unlawful territory, right? For stuff that's illegal, you can't allow that. But for anything that's legal, you can just block people. But now Elon's just no, I don't think you should. But yeah, it's really interesting. It sounds like they're going to incorporate most of this stuff. If they do remove the block feature, they're going to incorporate a lot of the stuff with mute. So it's interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll just see what happens with that. I would probably just rather them keep the block button. Elon's making some really interesting changes because why is that important? If you have the blocker, you can have the block plus the mute. Why is he even worrying about this? Right? He could be worried about other stuff. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.